All right, 8th grade, we'll do the second half of worksheet 60, okay? Number 5 says, it is difficult to understand, okay? So notice first of all just our verb, very simple, linking verb, is. What is? It is. Subject, pronoun there. It is what? It is difficult. Difficult is an adjective. It's a predicate adjective because we've got a linking verb. It is difficult in order to understand. It's kind of the same idea. Understand is not some noun here where we're going to or towards it. To is the particle that makes it an infinitive, okay? And it is related to, it is described in this way or modified by difficult if you're thinking of it in the sense of coming to an understanding of it. It is, for understanding, difficult. So that is the idea here. The is with respect to our understanding it. So the purpose or result, it's related to understanding it. The purpose of it being is difficult. It's difficult to understand. Okay, so it might not be difficult to use, for example. We wouldn't say it's difficult in every sense. Whatever this it is, maybe a particular formula or something like that, it might be really user-friendly once you understand it. It's just difficult to understand, maybe someone would say. So that's what's going on in sentence 5. Remember, this has required us only to do the infinitives. To remember, I tie a string on my finger. Same thing happening here as we saw earlier, okay? In order to remember, it is showing us the purpose or result of some main verb, right? The main verb here is tie. Who or what ties? I tie, subject pronoun. I tie what? I tie a string, direct object. So I tie a string in order to remember, okay? The purpose of the main verb is described by the infinitive in this case. So it is adverbial. Excuse me, I forgot to mark it up here with to understand. Okay. Now, start to read. You only have another 10 minutes. So we notice right off the bat we got there a semicolon. That means we have a clause over here and a clause over here. Group related words with a subject and a verb, and another group of related words with a subject and a verb. These are going to be independent clauses. Start is actually an imperative verb, which is interesting because it means we have a subject pronoun you implied right here. You start to read, right? To is the particle making read an infinitive verb. Start what? Start reading. Start this pattern of action which can be thought of as a thing or as a noun. Okay, think about the way in which someone could call up to you, one of your parents or siblings or someone to your room there and say, hey, you know, come on down. Or what are you doing? Okay, what are you doing? And you might call back simply studying. Or someone could say, why are you going to your room? To study. In those two ways, studying as a gerund and to study are functioning as noun phrases describing a thing. And the thing is the whole practice and pattern of going about a particular verb, in this case, study, right? When you study, of course, even we've taken pictures of our study spaces and posted them in Logic School Chapel and all that. When you study, there's a certain mode of acting, a certain set of expectations, a certain feeling and an ambiance. In that way, it deserves to be a noun. We can give it a name, okay? Just the same way that concert is a name given to a particular set of actions, procedures, expectations when we go to a concert. Well, we can have studying or to study. And that actually can be a noun, a name that captures a range of expectations and actions around the verb or the verbal action of studying. So that is what's going on here. Start, what are we starting? Starting to read. You only have another 10 minutes. Now here we do not have an infinitive. That is what the directions said. So we'll leave that clause alone. Get to bed and try to sleep. And it has the last asterisk here for tricky, and oh man. Yeah, the key here is bed is not a verb. You could force it to be one, like you could say, you know, and we hiked out 3 miles and then bedded down for camp or something. Like we could force it into that place, but a native English speaker does not consider bed at root a verb. And so get to bed, that's a preposition plus an object of the preposition. Where am I going? I am going to bed. It is showing in that way a relationship in space and time as we have defined the preposition. Between me and my bed, I am going to that bed, that kind of idea. So here though, sleep is a verb. Try, get and try are our two main verbs. Try is working together with sleep, right? Try to sleep. It's showing the result in this case, not the purpose, but the result of this trying. Trying to get to sleep, that kind of idea, to sleep. So in that case, it is modifying the verb, and it is adverbial. So what's interesting here, class, actually, is infinitives are actually a little easier to understand, strangely enough, when they're a little more complex, like I showed you up here. I actually think that as you add in other pieces, you realize a little more clearly what's going on. To run quickly to the store, to run to the store quickly. And you can start to see that action or that thing taking place in your mind. It's actually like painting a whole scene. And we had to run to the store quickly. And that the infinitive and its modifiers there are the entire infinitive phrase, right? A group of related words. And then the entire phrase becomes the object of that verb. That even is what's happening in one like down here would try to sleep. It just can be a little more confusing, frankly, because the infinitive phrase is so small. So that'll actually do it here for worksheet 60. You'll just need to see the videos now for worksheet 61. Take care.